Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. My character in Cyberpunk 2077 is the epitome of the modern alpha male. Apparently they fixed the police in this game to make them even more realistic, but I'm just not seeing it. Like, not even a cheeky little random cavity search or a quick beatdown with a nightstick. My immersion is shattered. Nah, but they've really fixed this game up and I thoroughly enjoy it now. I decide to go and check in on my apartment. I arrive and the concierge is just on her phone, not even greeting residents as they walk in. It's appalling customer service. There's no dialogue option to complain to the manager, so I try to gun her down, but she's unkillable. Seems like a strange character to give plot armor to. I head up the lift to my crib. On the way up, I get a text from my friend Takamura who tells me to break into a highly guarded factory for him. Taking orders from Asians. Now that seems like an accurate future setting. My apartment is pretty drippy. The elevator opens right into the main room, so you know I've got that dumb money. That P-Hub Premium no ads money. The place has all the bells and whistles. It's got a fish tank, but no fish, so I guess it's just a tank full of water. It's perfect. I've got a reading nook with a big bookshelf. In a world where you can just insert microchips of information directly into your brain, this reading nook is about as useful as Joe Biden's speech pathologist. The real reason I spent all my money on this place is this arcade machine where you play as a little horse that has to jump over things and eat apples. I was planning on playing this for 5 minutes max, but then I get a text message saying that if I break into the top 5 high scores, I win a mystery prize. I have to know. I proceed to invest literally 2.5 hours into this game. You go through all these different biomes. The timing worked out really well because my older sister called and she was yapping for days, so it was a healthy distraction. Her son just turned 3 years old and she won't shut up about it. I'm meant to act all impressed that he doesn't shit his pants anymore when I haven't shat my pants in weeks. I finished third and get 1800 credits, which was not worth it. This actually makes me realize that I'm pretty low on funds, and so I decide to do a Hitman mission. I ride over to the target's location, but it's unclear who the mark is. It could be any one of these people. There's a lad crying in the fetal position. The only 2 times it's appropriate for a man to cry is during the 45 minutes following a sexual encounter and during the opening segment of the Pixar movie Up. I shoot the dodgy sook, and this draws out my target. I chase her down, but she's got a hell of a vertical leap on her. She should stop being a wanted criminal and go and compete against regular humans at the Olympics. If you think that would be unfair, you're a bigot. I pull out a katana and slash the lass until she finally dies. They pay me 297 credits for the job. That's not even 20% of what I won from that arcade game. That's the price they put on a human life. That's so cheap, human traffickers will have to start a union and strike until they receive reasonable remuneration for their work. I ride over to Takamura. I like riding the motorbike as the camera changes to third person and reminds me of who I really am. A small Amish man with a dream. Takamura's like, good luck breaking into that fortress, king, and then he drives off. He proceeds to almost run me over and then he hits literally everything on the way out. Man, if Asians could drive, they'd have taken over the world years ago. I survey the factory, but it's heavily guarded with extremely high walls. I attempt to bribe a guard, but he's a man of God, and so I make a brave decision. I go and visit a Ripper doc. She's got blue hair and encourages me to have an abortion, but I'm like, no thanks, big girl. Please just install me some super jump enhancements right into my legs. I'm now able to double jump, which I don't quite understand the physics of. I'm sure Asians would know exactly how the physics of this works, but watch me reverse parallel park a car, you spatially unaware geniuses. With my improved physique, I'm able to spring right over the perimeter fence. This is simply a recon mission to gather intel for Takamura on an upcoming Japanese festival, so it's important I stay out of sight. I proceed to sneak up behind a guard, just like how ads are sneaking their way into paid streaming services. Speaking of, war is obviously really bad. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for international armed conflicts, but you have to admit they do inspire the best video games. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available for free on PC and consoles. My grandpa used to tell me stories about his experience in World War II, and now I get to do him proud by commanding over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters and ships of 10 major nations, including Russian tanks that are almost as fast as Ukrainian tractors. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. You can even attach rear view mirrors to the French tanks so you can see the people shooting at you. Join a community of over 70 million players and legendary PvP battles. With an unmatched wealth of high quality content to discover, there's simply no game better suited for fans of military history. Just remember as a little battlefield hack, if you see a Russian tank and want to stop it, shoot the 2 Soviets pushing it. You can play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation and Xbox by using my link in the pinned comment or video description. New New players will also receive a bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account available for a limited time. Don't be ashamed if you like an M1 Abrahams who may fire their payloads fast, but are ready to go again in 5 seconds. I take out a guard from behind, but a camera sees me, and just like that I have to kill every single enemy in the vicinity. I was never good at stealth games, unless it's hide and go seek apparently. The other day I was playing with my nephew that I was telling you about, and it was his turn to hide. Guess where the little Malacca hides? On my back. Kid climbed onto me like I wouldn't feel his weight. I swear to God this infant might have a learning disability. I survey the large float that will be used in the festival. This is where Takamura will kidnap a woman. That's right, we just killed all these people so we can snatch and grab. Nothing like abducting a woman to make you feel like a man. Speaking of, I get a booty call from my friend Judy, which is fantastic. She asks me to meet her at her apartment, so I spray half a canister of Lynx Africa deodorant onto my balls and make my way over. Excited to experience one of the many premarital relations Cyberpunk 2077 has to offer, I head inside and see a body in a bathtub. Shoulder rubs and neck kisses are my go-to foreplay options, but I guess harvesting human organs is cool too. It turns out it's her friend, and she's been killed, so I help move the body. I place the corpse onto the bed linen. I know her homie's dead, but she should really get these white sheets under cold running water ASAP, or the blood will surely stain. We go onto the rooftop to continue flirting, or grieving, whatever, and Judy tries to bum a smoke off me. This isn't a bloody bus interchange, and I tell her I don't have any. She fully pressures me until I finally have no other option than to give her a cigarette. I hope she at least gives me a post-mortem over the pants handy. If not, I hope she gets early onset emphysema. It turns out this wasn't even a booty call, I was just here for emotional support and cigarettes. Nothing like loading up the Xbox to become the male friend who's got the perfect shoulder to cry on. I will not be friend-zoned by a video game. I decide to set myself an ambitious yet tasteful goal for today's video. I will get virtually laid, and I won't pay a hooker for it. As if Aphrodite herself orchestrated my love life, I get a promotional offer from a company with the opportunity to send this girl PanAm flowers. 200 credits well spent. About the same amount I got paid for killing that jumping woman. Weird economy. PanAm receives the gifts and starts sending me thirsty text messages. Smiley faces equal fun. I sent her a message telling her to meet me at the mega building, thinking that was my mega apartment, but it was actually my crappy small flat. Sorry babe, I don't have any coke, but you can snort this poverty line. I did some market research into my demographic and realized that 100% of you subscribe for Peli dating content, so we're right on track here. On the way up to the apartment, Takamura calls and says he needs me to come to him immediately. He clearly hasn't seen PanAm. I head inside and there's the little minx looking through my stuff. I don't remember giving her a key to my apartment. What a little busybody. I slide into the seat beside her and tell her to put her head in my lap, and she does, but in the wholesome way, and we start talking. And we keep talking. And then we talk for a while more. All I can do is stroke her head with my freakish robot hand. The more I stroke, the more I realize that I've just been friend-zoned again. God damn it, this game really is so immersive. Who wouldn't bang this guy though? I ride over to meet Takamura and he's like, hey boss, can you kill 3 snipers for me so I can jump onto that float and kidnap that woman? I'm like, yeah, no worries champion, let's run it. The festival's pretty lit, they've got giant floating fish and dudes who consider consent a grey area. I sneak around and eliminate the first sniper. Every now and again Keanu Reeves rocks up and I remember that I've got schizophrenia. That being said, at least it's just Keanu Reeves being egotistical and not voices telling me to drown my nephew. I mean, I attempt to recreate the infamous No Russian mission, but apparently CD Projekt Red hates terrorism. Keanu Reeves is worried because there's a cyborg assassin here at the festival. A cultured hitman, I guess. The parade's got everything you could want, even floating men. I continue sneaking around and find a new pair of sunglasses. Now bro looks like the coolest cat in the Amish village. I sneak up behind the last sniper, but accidentally trigger his explosive trap, and it kills him. That seems like a huge tactical misplay on his part, the equivalent of facing a claymore at yourself. With the area now secure, Takamura leaps from a walkway and falls over 50 meters onto the hovering float below. Off camera. We don't actually get to see it, but I'm sure it was unbelievably cinematic. On my way out, I'm viciously attacked by slashy hitman McRedarms. This dodgy robot is like if Scyther and Darth Vader had a baby. I proceed to shoot Swords McGee around 1,000 times. I use all my ammunition. He also kept hiding from me, but unlike my suspected mentally challenged nephew, he was actually pretty good at it. My sister keeps telling me to stop calling him that, and she claims that most 3-year-olds are still learning, but when I was 3 I was calculating pi to 1700 decimal places in my head and discussing Animal Farm by George Orwell with my literature club. Kid needs to drink a glass of perspective. I murder worst finger blast ever and proceed to teabag him relentlessly. I then plug myself into a computer, which we're probably like 3 years away from doing in the real world. I see a camera angle of Takamura tranquilizing a woman as she tries to flee. Takamura is kind of a sick puppy, although maybe now we could be getting laid after all. I hop my way over to the safe house where the captured woman is being held. Takamura tells me the secret code is 4 knocks in a row. It feels like in a world of futuristic tech, a secret knocking pattern is kind of primitive, but we move. He took her to a pretty sketchy apartment building, although apparently they're selling clean needles here for 1 credit each, which is reasonably competitive pricing. If you can't believe a drug addict's word that their needles are sanitary, you probably have some internal trust issues you need to work through. I head up to the door and spam A because that's what real men do, and I guess I got the knocking pattern wrong and explosives trigger and kill me. Wow, imagine if the neighbor was just popping over the hallway to invite Takamura in for a friendly cup of tea, or some heroin. I repeat the process, but this time with the correct knock. The captured lass is sitting there with candles lit, and it's time to drop some riz. Not going to lie, it's a hard position to come back from, as I'm sure she's not stoked about being drugged and captured. They never are, but you miss every shot you don't take. We proceed to have a long conversation about why I have Keanu Reeves in my head, and that it was her dad's company's fault for giving me faulty hardware. We're then violently attacked by her people, and we almost all die. Still goes down as a top 5 date of all time for me, virtual or otherwise. Keanu Reeves encourages me to escape, which is actually pretty thoughtful of him, and then I black out. We wake in a motel room, and it turns out he took control of my body and brought us here. Not sure how I feel about that, but then PanAm texts me thanking me for gifting her flowers. I sure hope she carefully placed a caution wet floor sign under her legs. It's time to get back to the real objective here. It's time to get laid. I decide to do what all girls love and drop in at PanAm's home uninvited to surprise her. Take it from me, a guy who uploads gaming videos to YouTube, girls love a little aggressive initiative. En route to PanAm's, I text the grieving Judy a little bit too. It's always a good idea to not put all your eggs in one basket. I arrive at PanAm's rebel camp and check in her tent. The flowers I sent her there, but she's nowhere to be seen. I attempt to hit on some of her friends, but they don't want to speak to me either. I was never a big ladies man, but it genuinely seems harder to clap cheeks in Cyberpunk than in real life. Reddit lied to me. I proceed to do mission after mission, gunning down mercenaries and cyborgs for hours. It was challenging. Like, the difficulty of this boss battle makes Elden Ring's boss battles look easier than beating Drake in a rap battle. The way he just stands there perfectly still as I continually shoot him in the head. They reckon AI will cure cancer in the next 5 years, yet it can't program this lad to lazily jog around the room. I have my doubts. Anyway, you didn't click this video to watch me fight AI, you clicked this video to see me plow AI. I walk the streets for a while pondering my next move. I attempt to pay a homeless person 5 credits for any physical affection he can offer, but he doesn't even give me a peck on the cheek. Homeless people are always such teasers. I then realize the answer has been inside me this entire time. Keanu Reeves. Who doesn't want to have sex with John Wick? Shit, I'd bang him just for the story to tell the boys. I take some mystery pills which let Keanu take control of my body, and it all kicks off. He begins by getting absolutely belted on whiskey. Like an excessive amount of whiskey. Girls love it when you can't get it up. I then head outside and an Asian honey gives me a little smooch, which is equally as promising as it is uncomfortable. I go to open the car door for her. I give her some chivalry, so hopefully she can give me some chlamydia. We start driving and old Keanu gets a little frisky with his hands and proceeds to crash the car. She's dead, but she consented before she died. She's alive, and then she walks off, as apparently drunk driving your way to a near-death experience isn't the aphrodisiac we were hoping for. I wake up hungover in a seedy hotel room, at this point a born-again virgin. I'm like, what the heck happened last night, big girl? You almost killed us, and Keanu just puffs his little cigarette. God, he's so cool, I'd probably go gay for him if that was an option. Just when all hope seems lost, another girl called Rogue hits us up, and she wants some help with a mission. She's no PanAm, but at the end of the day, it's like I always say, if you shoot your shot enough times, you'll probably end up rimming a few threes. I head to a nightclub to meet Rogue, and she's like, good, you're here, I need help. I have the option to invite this guy along, but I really don't see how having some buff dude with a great smile helps me out at all here. So Rogue used to date Keanu Reeves, that's how we got in with her. I kind of feel like I'm trying to smash my mate's ex, which I would never do, except that one time I did do that. Rogue's like, hey pal, you should wear Keanu Reeves' old jacket, that would be swell. This isn't weird at all that she's dressing me up as her ex. We go for a long drive and chat for a while, but then the dialogue options run out and we kind of just sit there in silence and get caught in traffic. Nothing more immersive than a surprisingly slow, awkward, dead silent commute. Rogue's like, help me break into this facility so that we can find more information on the guy who killed Keanu Reeves. Apparently a guy called Adam Smasher did, but for now it's time to smash her, but first impress her with my stealth skills. I don't have enough mechanical points to break the fence, but I just spend my points when I need them, not when I get them, which seems either genius or psychotic, I'm not sure. Pouring the milk into the bowl before the cereal vibe. I proceed to get spotted before I even execute my first assassination, proving that once again, I'm about as good at stealth games as I am at getting hard after drinking about 6 whiskeys. I shoot my way out of it, and there's one survivor who we get to question. I proceed to degrade him a little bit by calling him useless, and now suddenly I'm hard even though I've had 6 whiskeys. I have the choice to spare him or take pity on the lad. I spare him, and he tells me where Keanu Reeves' body is and where his Porsche 911 is parked. Rogue knocks him unconscious, and then I violate his trust because corpses can't snitch. I open the shipping container and retrieve the vehicle. We are now driving Keanu Reeves' car while wearing his jacket while trying to bang his girl while he's inside me. There's a lot going on right now. Before our date with Rogue, we visit Keanu's burial site and he's got this cute little gravestone and someone's left flowers for him. Just kidding, garbage dump. He's actually a big baby about it, so we have this deep and meaningful conversation, and then I etch his initials into some metal. A kind of a sweet moment, and it reminds me of when I used to vandalize the bathroom stalls in high school. Since vandalizing bathroom stalls is neither done for wealth or critical acclaim, it's arguably the purest of art forms. It's now time for our big moment. I haven't been this nervous for a date since I asked out this lass called Fiona, and she's like, yeah, pick me up at 6. I knock on the door and her dad answers and wants me to spend some time with him first. He full on sits me down on the couch and he tells me all his rules and conditions for the night. It was intense. We finally head out for an honestly beautiful candlelit dinner, followed by a sunset walk around the lake. It was a special night. The evening went so well that we head back to my place and it got a little hot and steamy. We proceed to make sweet tender love for a couple of hours, and then afterwards we stand naked opposite each other and he puts his hand on my shoulder and says, alright son, you have my blessing to take Fiona out. We head to a drive-in movie with Rogue and it's all going swimmingly. I give her a little chin tickle and then we have awkward kisses. It's finally happening. The little Amish boy is finally getting laid, and then Rogue's like, lol, no sorry buddy, we're better off as friends. God, this game is so realistic. The moral of the story is, it's easier to pick up an extra shift at work, or perhaps take a War Thunder sponsorship and just pay a hooker. In real life or in Cyberpunk. Thanks again to this video sponsor War Thunder. Play the game now on PC, PlayStation or Xbox using my link in the pinned comment or video description. Those of you who haven't played War Thunder yet or are returning after a break of at least 6 months will receive a massive bonus pack including premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lions and 7 days of premium account. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, make sure to check out my other channel Papa Pelly for more videos. I love you.